Right, we've been reporting tonight on a proposal that workers in South Africa contribute up to 12% of their earnings for a state-run national security fund. Yesterday, Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu delivered a green paper that outlines a plan. Workers would contribute and then benefit from government pensions later in life. But there are concerns about government's ability to administer such a fund. Let's get a quick view now. We're joined by economist Lumkile Mondli. Lumkile, thank you for being with us as always. Treasury, we spoke to them earlier and saying very clearly that this is aspirational. It's not a short-term policy proposal. It's a discussion, really. But what do you think about it?
Thank you very much for having me this evening. Good evening to your viewers. It is quite important for us to appreciate that in the post-World War II settlement, particularly in Europe, many countries signed a social compact for reconstruction and development because of the destruction that accompanied the war. So in a country like South Africa, where we have got high levels of unemployment, poverty and inequality, and there's a history of exclusion, particularly of the majority of black people, the process of creating equity and social solidarity where everyone could have access to some form of pension through the savings of those that are employed will make sense ideally. Unfortunately, for South Africa, we have experience of the current government. We have just witnessed the president at the Zondo Commission, where he didn't come forward to convince us that the administration that is heading is different. We've seen with the redeployment of Nosiviwe to Parliament as a speaker. We've seen with the procurement of protective equipment. We've seen with Dr. Lumkile. So therefore, the collapse of the SOEs, whether it's SAA, it's Transnet, it's Eskom, indicates to us that the administration is incapable, is inefficient, is ineffective to address the myriad of problems of poverty, inequality, as well as unemployment. Therefore, the Green Paper is really misleading and it should be rejected. And if needs be, all people should mobilize against such an attempt again that the ANC government has taken so much away from the past. Now it wants to finish off the very last penny remaining among those that are employed.
Yeah. So 12%, I mean, the paper suggests up to 12% of people's earnings. That would then be on top of the taxes that we pay and the additional costs that many South Africans face. So would we be effectively looking at one of the highest tax rates in the world? And also, Lumkile, what could that... the fear around that, the talk around that, could it have impacts on investment and on what South Africans do with their money, put their money, because we know that a lot of people are taking money offshore?
Well, firstly, I mean, it should be rejected by millions of South Africans. I don't think that many South Africans are going to trust in the capability and ability of the ANC government to look after public resources. They've been dismal. As I've shared in the past few minutes, we've seen their record. So anything that's got money in it is likely to be misspent. So therefore, taking that aside, South Africa has to think deeply. I think we have to think deeply whether we can create a competent, effective, and efficient state, the state that will be able to address our problems. So in my view, it's not an issue around whether something like this is possible or not. In ideal condition, we will think about it quite seriously, given the history I've highlighted. However, we know that any scheme, even if we're taxed at 50% of our income, in a society that's got solidarity, that is got a working and an effective and capacitated state where there's national solidarity, where crime and all the issues of access, for example, to basic services like decent toilet for poor black people in rural areas. If those issues were all really being addressed, well, because government was spending its money effectively, maybe the debate could be different. But at this juncture, really, it's a debate that we're having, but I think it's a misplaced debate. The debate or the thought that South Africans should be having is how do we create an effective, capable state that can confront and cut a new social compact with both sides, with business, trade unions, community at large, for us to work together for a better life for all.
All right, thank you so much. Saying this should be rejected out of hand, this proposal by the Social Development Department. Economist Lumkile Mondli for us.